Yeah, hi and welcome. Can you hear me? Hello.
Hello, yes.
Okay, thank you. Just to waiting 1 minute.
Hello.
Okay, thank you for joining all of you. Just to waiting some time, then we'll start. Okay, so let's go. We'll start out this session. Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen? So previous class I discussed about that soil salinity, how to compute, and also discuss about that how to monitor the bioclimatic variables, as well as we also discuss about that water balance equation. Okay. So today's session I discuss about that mainly two topics. One topic for landslide prediction using machine learning, and another one is for flood monitoring using machine learning. Okay, so two types of machine project. Suppose landslide susceptibility, as well as how to work with flood mapping or flood hazard mapping, mainly to identify flood detection area. Flood susceptibility in this study area using machine learning algorithm. We are just apply the random forest and identify flood susceptibility. Okay, for the flood susceptibility, if you check, we need this type of data. So we need to create different steps. Suppose first step, we simply need the topography data, climate data, multispectral imagery data, and the earth observation data we need. After that, we simply apply the spatial harmonization. Okay, only resample data. Okay, reproject data. Further apply the random forest classifier or random forest algorithm. Then validate susceptibility mapping. Okay. So same like as previous one, we need to create some data. Okay, before applying the flood susceptibility mapping or flood hazard mapping, we need this type of data. First data, land use land cover data. We need the soil type data. Okay, for our study area. We need the topographic index map. Topographic index map we need. We need the drainage density. We need the lithology. We need the SPI, stream power index. It's called the stream power index, SPI, stream power index. So this type of factor we need to apply in our model when you work with flood susceptibility mapping. You must need to apply this type of model. You need the land use land cover data, you need the soil type data, you need the topographic wetness index data, drainage density data, lithology data, and also need the stream power index data. Okay. So we simply apply, as well as we also need rainfall data. You can say rainfall data. Okay. We need the vegetation data, curvature data, slope data, and also topography data. Okay. We also need this type of data and also need this type of data. Okay. So after creating, as well as we also need the sentinel-2 imagery, mainly Landsat data. We need to filter the Landsat data and remove all of cloud, all of haze we need to remove and get the neat and clean satellite data. And also apply the chart satellite data. Okay, mainly rainfall aggregation data, total rainfall. We just create the total sum total rainfall, and we apply the remove the we are simply apply the cloud marks to remove the cloud from our satellite imagery also. And further, we simply apply the common scale 30 meter. Okay, 30 meter, because mismatch input, okay, it creates some problem. So that's why we simply create all of data, just apply the same scale, 30 meter grid. Okay, because Landsat 30 meter, chart is the 5,000 meter, so it's the mismatch input. It's not support, it's not provide you the good data. So for that, we try to create the harmonized output. Okay, and uniform 30 meter grid. Okay, you are just apply the projection and convert. Okay, reproject scale 30 meter. Okay, we just simply convert and make the similar scale value. Then we defining the four susceptibility target class. Suppose class 1, low risk, class 2, high risk, class 3, very high risk, and class 4, non-flood zone. Okay, so we create the 4 training sample. Suppose low risk, high risk, very high risk, and non-flood. So how I can get the low risk, how I can get the high risk, how I can get the very high risk, how I can get the non-flood. So it depends on the frequency number. Suppose how much time I find out the flood for a specific area or a specific location, how much time I find out the flood. It depends on the frequency. Suppose very high risk, this place, I find out that very high frequency of flood. Suppose very high risk, it indicating about the very high risk. It indicating about the very high frequency of flood for this area. It's a middle high risk, okay, and it's a low high risk. And this type of place, it's a non-flood zone, non-flood zone. So when I take the training sample for my flood, it's also important. I need to identify where is the high frequency of flood, where is the low frequency of flood, where is the very high frequency of flood. I need to identify this type of classes. Okay, then I can easily identify for the 4 class susceptibility. Okay. Then similar way, we simply apply the random forest algorithm, randomly distributed 70% data and 30% data, and further we simply apply the machine learning algorithm to check our algorithm. Okay, all of those. Okay, just we simply check our output result, our predicting flood hazard mapping, and further we simply compute the accuracy assessment. Okay, we simply compute the accuracy assessment using the confusion matrix table, and we can create this type of flood hazard mapping. We simply export as a 30-meter resolution. Further, we simply use the ArcMap user software to produce this type of map. Where is the high flood? Where is the low flood? Where is the very low flood or non-flood area? We try to identify. Okay, so this is the process how to work with flood mapping. Okay, so let me show you this code, and I also send you this type of code. You also try to adapt for your own study area. Okay, so let's I try to show you this process. Okay. Okay, let me show you that all of those one by one. So here I already imported all of those. Okay, soil type data, TWI, topographic wetness, drainage density, lithology, SPI, steam power index. So this type of thing I simply imported from my asset tab. From my asset tab, I simply import all of those. Okay. So now I simply work. So first of all, let me display my study area. So this is my study area. So this is our study area. So for this study area, we try to identify flood susceptibility mapping. This is the study area. So for this study area, first of all, we simply just take the DEM data, then we create the slope, then we create the curvature. Okay, and further we simply display the DEM, display the slope, display the curvature, display the land use land cover, display the soil type, display the topographic wetness, display the drainage density. Okay, so this type of factor, display the lithology, display the SPI, steam power index. So now I run the code, then I can get all of data, okay, which I already created, okay, for my study area. So I just try to display in here all of map together. So we can get this type of map. So this one is for SPI, mainly stream power index map. So this is the stream power index map. It's a lithology map. Lithology. It's a drainage density map. It's a TWI, topographic wetness index map. Okay, it's a TWI. It's a soil type map. It's a soil type map, and it's a land use land cover map. Okay, land use land cover map. We find out this type of map, and it's a curvature map. Curvature, mainly edge detection, curvature. Then it's a slope map. Then it's a day map, and this is the study area. Okay, so we just created all of those for our study area. We assign it all of factor, and then you can see we have also have some training sample GT. So I simply add. So it's a low, then very, then high, then very high, and non-flood. So if I just run the code, if you check this type of layer, so low, it shows the all of low flood training sample. Okay, very low frequency of flood. We find out this type of training sample. You can see for this area. So you can see this type of place blue. This type of blue color indicating about that low flood zone. This type of blue color. Okay. Then this type of green color indicating about that high and very high yellow color. So if you check this type of yellow color indicating about the very high. Okay, this type of yellow color indicating about the very high. Mainly this type of place, high frequency of flood. This type of place, high frequency of flood. This type of yellow color indicating about the very high frequency of flood. Okay, it's a very high frequency of flood, this type of place. So now we just simply apply. Okay, this is the code for reviewing the cloud and haze from the Sentinel-2 satellite data. Okay, so we simply create a function. This function basically help you to remove cloud and haze from your satellite imagery. Okay, and further we simply apply just connecting with our Sentinel-2 imagery, because we also need the NDVI. We simply compute the NDVI and add the NDVI, and also compute the total rainfall, and add the rainfall map. So now run the code. So now it added all of those together. Rainfall map and NDVI map we can generate. So you can see there is the precipitation, okay, chart satellite data, precipitation, rainfall data. It's the NDVI. Okay, we can easily get this type of other parameter. So now we just need to create the common grid. Okay, suppose all data set, all layers, or all image NDVI, then SPI, lithology, rainfall, drainage density, all of those we just simply keep the 30-meter resolution, or reproject the 30-meter scale, reproject the 30-meter common scale. So further we simply apply this code. Okay, reproject. So we reproject using 30-meter. Okay, we reproject 30-meter scale. All data set is reprojected 30-meter scale. Okay, because it's a different data set have the different pixel size, but when I do it common grid, so then I just reproject all data, dam data, slope data, curvature, NDVI, rainfall, All of those I just keep 30 meter resolution, all data set.